very interesting game number 3. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn, the final game to decide who is going to come out on top. Is it the new gen or is it the comeback legends?
Well, looking at the emblems right here, Impure Rage on both the Valentina and the Uranus. So a different emblem for keys right here. In a way, more sustainable, but in the early game, this Angela pick, man, game number 1 and now 3. This is just a lot of damage, a lot of pressure in the early game, and Leo Murphy is forced to back away.
Quantum Charge for Kimura. Okay, that's a very interesting emblem to take here in this matchup.
I think we've seen it before in other tournaments as well. Just makes him so much more dangerous in the chase game and of course in the disengage game as well. We talked about mobility being one of the core prerequisites for being a good EXP laner. And I think the Quantum Charge on a Paquito just makes him that much more mobile. We'll see if it plays out, if it becomes a factor in how this lane goes.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see how it's going to pan out, if it's going to work or not. Because if it is, that's another solution to the dominance coming in from the Uranus. It's no longer just the Esmeralda. It could be the Paquito as well. As you can see here, Ray already trying to help Dixon out there in the top lane.
This Uranus is just so obnoxious right here. In the early game, not much to say. Still leg plates stacked up all over the place. It's just such an efficient item right here, but Aura is making their move.
Already very aggressive. Sin takes every single shot of that damage, but Kaze also does the same. It's a good trade for Kaze though. He walks out with a dub. Thing is, Paquito, the way you try to utilize... Wait, Van? Good taunt in, goes
no
in, praises Wrath. Ray first blood, what happened? Ray just took it all and Van took advantage of it. Now it's an engage in with a flicker. Should be a free turtle for Aura.
No way, what was going on there?
Vanderman.
I think they just didn't see that Van was on the way. Ray ran into him face first in a bush, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the assassin against a fighter matchup, and now Turtle gets secured by Aura Fire as well. This is looking to be yet again a game controlled by Aura Fire.
So unfortunate for Dewa United there. With Aura Fire picking up that turtle that is going to spearhead them at a 1,000 gold lead almost. And Van is going to be a level ahead of Ray very, very soon with the way that he's as proficient as he is in the jungle. And we do have a game fun fact here by Grab. Fredrin is the hero that was most picked in MPL ID Season 11. And it actually is one of the, I would say, power heroes of Van. He's used it time and time again, even despite the patch change. And it's still very successful in his hands. Whoa, Kimura.
Hard guard, Kimura still able to escape right now. Jabs out. Oh, not even close. Kimura.
Oh,
Gets out. No from Sin. Holy moly, that hard guard came in clutch, but Kimura had the mechanics to pull that escape off.
and you have to wonder, did the Quantum Charge allow him to get out a bit faster as well, as High now gets jumped on by Keys and Leo Murphy, but it just won't be enough damage. And the early game snowball that Dewa United wants to get really isn't reachable for them right now.
Yeah, so far Leo Murphy hasn't been able to get a really good Divine Judgment as well. He's yet to be able to get a good pickoff like he did in game number 1. But look at this, Van. He's dealing so much damage. He's putting so much pressure on the Hayabusa. And this is why the Hayabusa pick was very questionable for me, as they're going for more there in the bottom lane.
But the airstrike taking Case very low. He dodges from the last shot, but it's still, again, the gold given over to Kabuki. Before the 5th minute, they can actually just keep on pressuring this orange buff. Most likely going to be stolen away as well. Ray not given space at all against this Aura Fire lineup.
There's just so much pressure right here from Van. And look at how they're playing, man. They're avoiding the issue of Uranus completely. Dixon can do whatever he wants, but look at the aggression. Aura still is trying to find more, even though the turtle is on the other side. They want to pressure everyone else, and then if Dixon wants to try and go 1v4 to contest the turtle, they are happy to do so.
Look at this. They're going to try to force Ray to Retribution. No, Van just takes the Retri. He knows there's no chance of a contest. Now it's a stun. First damage ready for Sin. Dixon forced to use the Consecration to escape. And Aura Fire have control over the turtle. He is 2 levels ahead. Just after this camp, 2 levels ahead. There you go, against Ray.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, right? Looking at the way that they were rotating, the way that Hayabusa hasn't been able to get his farm as well, it looks very difficult for Dewa United to go in for contest for the Retribution anyway. And I felt like the idea was to give Watt the space using, oh no, in the bottom lane!
Well played to Dewa United, already getting a good trade back. Finally, pushing the pace in that bottom lane. If they can't win through these neutral objectives, they gotta come back again to game number 1, reevaluate, and look to Watt to carry them.
Yeah, that's literally the same story. That was a really good pick, especially it was given onto Watt. He needs the gold, he needs the farm as soon as possible. And punishing Kabuki, it's a very good move here by Dewa United.
Well, keep in mind, they need to try and get some of the objectives as well. Because kills is great and all, but afterwards, they need map control because Van is just out of control right now, pressuring, invading whenever he can, and Ray is definitely falling behind slowly but surely. Look at him going 1v4.
He doesn't
No
care.
way.
Walks up, Retries takes it away.
No
A feathered
way.
airstrike from K's. Van just pops in the emote and walks in front, takes everything, stands there menacingly, appraises Wrath, taking K's low, taking him out of the lane. And heck, I expected him to do more going into the enemy purple buff, but I think he has had enough now onto the bottom lane. Watt engaged on the taunt, connects. Oh, what?
No way.
Still able to survive the flicker forward though from Zin. Now, hard guard comes in, Van falls. A bit of a mistake, miscommunications punished by Dewa United.
These are small mistakes that Aura Fire did in game number 1 to hand it over to Dewa United. If it stacks more than this could be the same story that we saw earlier on in the series. However, despite things going that way, Aura Fire are still leading with a 2,000 gold lead. And I gotta say, man, that's a really good phone. The Samsung Galaxy S23 Series 5G being able to accentuate the high mechanical plays from these players.
You can see the FPS just smooth right there as Leo Murphy gets jumped on. And look at that. On this Kaja, he has just not been able to make the same kind of plays he's been able to do so on a Franco. Now with the turtle coming up, Dewa has the setup advantage, but we'll have to see. Aura Fire usually has a plan, but the Kabuki isn't in the picture.
Oh, way too early there. That's going to be a lot of damage placed on. The Shadow Kill even used up there. Onto Van. Appraiser's Wrath and the Retribution claims it, takes him back to almost full HP. Now the re-engage onto Dixon. He wants a 1v1. If you can sustain, I can do you better here with High literally using a hard guard, healing me up. 2 jabs onto Dixon, but it's just going to be a free orange buff. Aura Fire just using this early game lead, transitioning it into the mid game.
New Nightmare unlocked. Van, Fredrin, plus Heartguard, Angela by High. I thought it couldn't get worse than the Ling Angela combo, but here it is, Aura Fire proving
Oh my God.
something else. Look at Van, look at how confident he is. Ray definitely is not going to get it.
Further airstrike comes down, now High flickers forward, able to sustain, finally a kill from Ray. His first kill of the game, golden snap built up by Watt. But is it too late at this point? Zin, wings by wings, zoning him away. Kabuki picks up the turret, and Aura Fire walks away, taking away that purple buff in the process of that team fight.
It's just so tough right now because the difference for Aura Fire is that they don't really have a sole tank. If they all focus, if Dewa United focus too much on Van, you know Kimura was just waiting in the wings right there. And if you're Watt right now, the main carry, the main tool that Dewa United can use to try and deal with Aura Fire, you have to wonder, who are you trying to target, right? Are you going to try and burst Van down or Kimura? Because they're both doing a lot of damage and they're both quite sustainable, especially when, if you look at the composition, there's an assassin on Dewa United. His damage is very, very limited.
Oh, so much sustain on Van. You can see the items, right? Steel leg plates, you can see the Radiant as well as the
Skyguard and
helmet, exactly. So he can sustain through that damage. He doesn't need to go and recall. He can still show the dominance in the jungle, and that's why he has the time to do so. Look at this once again.
Ooh.
Yeah, not a good time at all for a Kanja here to be that behind of a jungler of a team that's right now just running them down. Kabuki, no, Van takes it, wants to get that lead even further on. 1 level lead only though, so Ray's not doing a bad job right now with keeping the pace up, but without the purple buff, without the orange buff, I don't think there's going to be much to go for to contest. Oh,
Ooh.
no retry though. It's a good trade. Van was looking for that. Either a retry or a free purple buff. Either way, it's a win for Aura Fire.
They're going for the Lord right now. It's very, very possible that Dewa United is going to let it go and they look for something else. A pickup perhaps, but but the adjustments, the response from Aura, way too quick. It's going to be an uncontested Lord. And I think at this point, they have to rely on Leo Murphy getting something done. If he's not going to go for a pick-off of a prior target, he needs to lock someone down, like Kimura perhaps, who's just dashing in, doing damage, providing some measure of security for Watt and Keys in the back line.
I agree with that, but I also want to say that Dewa United, they need to find a way to slow things down a little bit, put the tempo a little bit further down, and try allow Watt to catch up. Because honestly, Watt is the saving grace now for Dewa United. He can just really burst through all the members from the side of Aura Fire. And I don't know how, because they opted for Leo Murphy with that single target CC.
And even right now, you can see that Dixon, he has been relatively unfazed, undisturbed in his laning phase, but he is nowhere as good as Kimura was in game number 2. But look at Aura making moves already.
Van diving in, that base turret dashing out, Sin with the flicker out as well. Kabuki, one more hit onto the turret, that's a base turret down. Dewa United with an okay trade, a trade that, you know, they couldn't have gotten if they did not go or let go of that bottom side base turret. Was it worth it though? The Angela for a base turret.
I think a base turret is just way too valuable, especially because we're talking about pressure right here. With that wave pushing constantly, that's one more wave where Aura Fire can leave alone, and Dixon, as you can see, he is not nearly as obnoxious, as tanky, or as dangerous as Kimura was in game number 1, and game number 2, sorry. So I think he needs to try and do something, or his team needs to try and use him a different way. Of course, it's much easier said than done, because as of right now, being 5k gold behind, Aura Fire has the damage available to completely burst him down.
Yeah, it's difficult for Dewa United because of that fact. But there is still a possibility for them to come back in the game, I believe. They are the comeback legends. I know it has a different meaning towards what we're trying to imply. But if they're able to do this, exactly this, give Watt the space, give Watt the gold, get him to his power spike, he should be able to shred through someone like even Van, right, on the Fredrin, who has been so sustainable so far.
Well, along with that, right, they have to make sure that in a fight, again, Kimura gets taken care of. They have to make sure that Sin does not get to just use a feathered airstrike and just zone Watt completely out of the picture. So aside from just damage items, Watt also has to worry about all these threats and how he's going to itemize around that, right? Because if he goes for a Wind of Nature, perhaps, or an Athena, or a Rose Gold, those are all great options, but it also lowers down his damage potential. And that is something that he is just stuck trying to solve, and it's just a very tough equation.
I guess that's what Leo Murphy was built to do, right? Try to take out one of that option away from Aura Fire, either take down the... Oh, wait a minute.
No, and it's still Van who gets it. No retributions were used there. Let's see, Ray has saved it for this one moment here. He's back to just one level down of Van. He can try to look for a steal. It all comes down to how Leo Murphy plays this.
Well, keep in mind, Leo Murphy also has used his flicker, and now he's getting jumped on.
There you go, already used onto Kimura, and just like that, it should be a free Lord over the Van. Goes back in, Kimura doing a very good job in zoning the enemy team. Dixon getting swept back by Kimura. Aura Fire have once again done it. They've utilized this lead to force Dewa United out of the Lord Pit.
And because of that trade that Dewa United wanted to go for earlier on, high for an inhibitor turret, it's going to be Aura Fire having more of the say there in the bottom lane. At this point, what can Dewa United do?
They have to play it slow. They have to try and get the right fights. Now with the Feather Airstrike already used, there seems to be a window right here, but with the Lord coming in, they must go for a fight before Aura just push and brute force end the game with the Lord.
2 base turrets now down. Only 1 base turret taken now with this enhanced Lord. Van dashing forward. Now the hard guard helping him sustain back up. But it's not going to be enough right there. The immortality is going to be popped. Watt dealing a lot of single target damage. Kimura with a knockout strike to disengage. Another mini wave coming crashing down. But that top side wave hasn't been manipulated enough. Dewa United have defended once again in the 14th minute of the game. 7 total kills.
That's so little. That's so little.
Pretty
compared
average.
to, yeah. Is it though? 7? All right. I mean, back to the game, right? 7,000 gold lead here for Aura Fire. You can even see that high ops score and NOD as well to try and counter the... Oh, Dixon, there you go. They're going for another turret here in the top side. Leo Murphy's looking for something, but it just keeps getting cancelled by Kimura.
Oh, flicker as well from Sin. Very aggressive maneuvers, gives the team the base turret. And now Aura Fire have 3 super minion waves to play with. Dewa United, what do they have to do?
They have to do, I think at this point, way too many things. Get a pick off, shut down Sin or Kabuki, right? Make sure that Watt doesn't get picked off, and at the same time, make sure that the waves are stable enough that Hai can't randomly split push and end the game. There's just so many questions that Aura Fire is throwing at Dewa United, and they don't really have any particular answers here. Even in that Lord fight earlier, we talked that Leo Murphy might have to be the one making the plays happen, but he hasn't been... I haven't seen a single Flicker Divine Judgment combo just yet. And that situation earlier where Kabuki is trying to siege on the turret, that's a perfect opportunity that Dewa United has just not found yet.
I feel like every time he goes in for the Divine Judgment, it gets cancelled, right? Kimura is able to push him back, and it gets cancelled. But the one time he was able to do it was on Van. And now, because Watt is catching up in terms of gold, it feels like the damage has started to come through. Van shouldn't be able to be as oppressive as he was in the early game compared to now. And it's impressive. Watt has maintained a 1,000 gold difference with Kabuki despite how pressured he has been. And there is, once again, still a sliver of hope here for Dewa United.
I mean, it's never really over until it's over, but with the next Lord, it's going to be a very tough Lord to defend right here. So Dewa United seems to be trying to let it go, maybe banking on surviving the next wave, but no, Dixon comes in to try and open up the wave. If anyone can do it, it's going to be him, but look at Leo Murphy!
Wow! Kabuki! Reaction time! Flickering out now, though. The engage comes through. Winter Truncheon right there to save him. Shadow Kill still going to be able to shot so much damage before the Heart Guard comes in to save Zin's life. Meanwhile, still on the Lord. Retribution still ready for Ray. Van going at it now. 5,000 HP going down. Fraser's Wrath. It's going to be Kabuki who secures the Lord for the team. Aura Fire backing away. They have the Enhanced Lord in the 17th minute of the game. But Dewa United are pushing through, looking for this mid lane turret.
Wow, I thought that Dewa United might want to force Aura into a fight right there because a lot of resources has been burnt out, but no, they actually were hesitant in that approach, and now Aura Fire has the Lord. They're waiting for it to try and make yet again a macro-centric play, and for Dewa United, that's just so difficult. They get one turret in exchange for that whole sequence of events, and now we'll see if they can actually deal with this Lord effectively.
Oh, it's not looking good. I feel like Dewa United, they're starting to tilt. Keys accidentally took the ultimate coming in from Fredrin, and that's going to be a longer cooldown for her to get the IMU as they're looking for a pick there in the bottom lane. But Kimura says no, and that's going to be 2 lanes pushing. Angela already working on that top side.
Clearing it out right now, not giving Dewa United the option to go for the split push. Aura Fire in the base with the Enhanced Lord. Athena's Shield going to be built up by Watt right now as he clears out the Lord. Good Divine Judgment, bringing Van back. Watt now, Athena's Shield popped in already. Kimura with a disengage, with a knockout strike. Dixon loses all of his HP now with another knockup. One more shot, but it's not going to be enough. Ray, one jump with a quad shadow kill on the back. Oh my goodness, Ray! With a double kill on the back, Kabuki on the base, Midwave's crashing down. One more hit is all he needs, but he does not get it. Kabuki finds a kill instead. Dewa United, have they done enough to look for the end?
Oh my god, 3-for-1 trade. Look at the death timers. I feel like Aura Fire, they still have enough to be able to defend. They still have 3 towers. But what happened there? I feel like it started with the mistiming of the Heart Guard coming in from high. And unfortunately, Van was taken out before he was able to get that ultimate down. But that's an ultimate wasted already. And Dewa United, they punished Aura Fire for that.
And more importantly, they have actually shrunk the Goldie down to about 1k less even. This might be just exactly what they need. Items completed across the board for multiple members, including a Rose Gold Meteor for Watt. So in the next fight, he'll have a bit more security, and look at the towers just falling down as well. Now, Now it's a big question right here, because as much as Aura Fire is in control, they have a very mid-game centric composition. They don't have a late-game hyper carry, right? Their marksman is a Brody in sense of Kabuki. He does not compare in damage output to a carry in the late game.
I guess that's why they banked on the Farsa, right? Weapon Master Farsa, you mentioned that as well. Something of a late game insurance with a talent option, but this is the moment things turned around for Dewa United.
Oh,
Wow.
brilliant timing on the shadow kill.
They were so patient with that engagement, and they just wait for the right moment where Aura Fire, they're low first of all, but they're also clumped up, and that's a lot of damage. Now, shoes on the other foot. Dewa United pressuring, going for a bit of a split push using Dixon. Keep in mind the Angela issue is still relevant to the game, but Dewa, they're really relying on Leo Murphy finding something. If he gets a pick off right now, it doesn't matter who you are. The carry is full build, you will get shredded down.
This is so 50-50 here. Aura Fire, they're baiting Dewa United out. But it looks like Dewa United understand this. They now see that the carry is in the bottom lane. Does Aura Fire want to pull the trigger here or not?
Taunt from Van. Watt buys the Wind of Nature. What did he sell it for? He sold his boots for the Wind of Nature. Already getting to a point where there are no boots in the game.
Oh, they know. They know Hai wants to clear that top side. That's why Ray is there. They're going to go for the pickoff instead before they push. Oh, but there we go.
Flicker Divine Judgment onto Van. Still the hard guard ready though. They need to be careful here. Dixon dives in the back line. Appraiser's Wrath giving him the sustain necessary. Dixon gonna be chunked. Aura Fire forced to back away. Van half HP. Still Hai not wanting to push up that top side. Ray finally visible on the map.
Well, as long as time keeps turning, Aura Fire eventually will have a pushing lane in the top side. So Dewa United are the ones against the clock. They made a great play right there, but the Winter Truncheon from Van just shuts it all down. That is the quote-unquote itemization outplay. And now it's getting closer and closer as that wave in the top side tips everything in favor of Aura Fire.
Yeah, and that's when Dewa United Esports have an issue to solve. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lord Dance is making all of us nervous here. It only takes one mistake for either team to punish the other. And here it is, Leo Murphy.
Divine Judgment onto Van. Hard guard still ready. No kill threat right now. Dixon though forces the Winter Truncheon early. Now buys in Immortality. Is able to survive that. Van with the Appraiser's Wrath on the 3, but look at the damage coming in from Watt. Still able to melt him down. Van very low. Tournament memory coming down. Dixon still alive. Winter Truncheon bought by K's. Now 1 member down for Aura Fire. 4v5. This is a free lord for Dewa United, who have absolutely come back for the airstrike comes down. Watt takes it, secures it for Dewa.
Wow. That's a Lord secured for Dewa United in the late game. This is a 23-minute game with a carry, with a Valentina. There's an abundance of damage for Dewa United right now. 4,000 gold ahead, and now it's going to be a 6v5. Once Vance actually comes back into the land of Dawn, and looking at the waves right now, Dewa United, they're looking for it. They sense the end is near, and they're gonna try and find that next opportunity, man.
Man, I feel like Aura Fire, they pulled the trigger. They were too slow to make a decision. Dewa United, they're like, okay, we don't see Sin, we don't see Hai, let's go. And they had the man advantage. Aura Fire, they were looking for a pick, but they were too slow to make the decision. And look how the entire situation has completely turned around. Hayabusa gonna look for another objective in the top side. The Lord marching in the bottom. There's gonna be 3 waves crashing in favor of Dewa United. And Aura Fire, they're going to fight with the high ground that they have to defend this here in the 24th minute of the game.
Crash down to the base turret. Dixon standing in front. Now Sin there. Oh! Able to use it for the airstrike. Look at the damage coming through. Kimura still able to sustain. Kimura gets out! Ray in the back now with the shadow kills where hard guard onto Kabuki, who's going to be going up in front. Caves the feather airstrike, but now he's going to be stunned up. It's a kill over the Van. Now, Watt dealing damage still in the midst of it all. Finding the immortality. Winter Truncheon, Baba Kimura still able to activate it in time. Getting out again. Now it's coming back, coming all the way onto the back. A lot of damage placed. Aura Fire still able to survive, able to prolong this game.
My God, ladies and gentlemen, we have a game on our hands. Aura Fire at a 10,000 gold deficit. I understand that it no longer matters here at this point in time. With how much damage Dewa United Esports were able to accumulate, they're still able to defend this. But the real-time win probability here by the Samsung Galaxy S series will still favor Dewa, 77%. They have the late game insurance to be able to do this. It's a mind game now for Aura Fire. They can't go with just bronze alone.
Now it's all about execution right here. Keep in mind though, in that previous engagement, both Kimura and Watt has traded Immortals. You can see that for Watt, he has opted to switch out for a Windtalker, trying to get more damage, more ways to end the game faster. For Kimura, knowing that carry is now the huge problem, he goes for a Blade Armor as well, transitioning into a full tank build. The question is, all these tankiness, all these beefy heroes from Aura Fire, can they hold long enough for the rest of the members to try and find Watt in the back line? As long as Watt does not fall, it's going to be a very tough situation for Aura Fire to find anything. And with the control right here, with the Lord spawning, Aura Fire need to make a gamble.
They need to make it quick, right? I think they were overthinking that last Lord fight. That eventually gave Dewa United the Lord there in the 22nd minute of the game.
Ooh.
They need to come up with something quick.
And right now, they can go for a split push, but look at the bottom lane. It's going to be slow pushing in favor of Dewa, and look at how fast the carry can shred the Lord down. Take Rise up for a bit, and that's going to be a pick-off!
Hard guard though, Winter Truncheon also bought in. Kimura still able to survive, flickers out to safety, but the fadeaway! What with a passive, with the basic attacks? The power spike, no boots! That's the damage you can produce on a carry in the later stage of the game. No Kimura, 0, 1, and 1. His first death in this game, but it might be his last death as Dewa United go on the Lord. 29,000 HP. Van looking for an opening, knowing there's no Divine Judgment, but Aura Fire decide to pull Van back. They want to put all their resources on this defense.
With the Lord in their hands, Dewa United will be looking for an end finally. At 27 minutes, the final game of the first match in Season 12, Aura Fire will need somewhat of a miracle. They have to find Watt. At this point, they need to be trading death timers, if anything, because even though they trade 2 members for Watt, that's still worth it, because keep in mind, they are better at like prolonged team fights because they can out-sustain more. But at this point, the carry needs to go somehow, some way. We'll see if there's any solutions. 3 retributions available for the side of Aura Fire.
Oh, it
I
was
was
a nice
about
try.
to say, that was so risky by Syndrome, though.
I don't think they need the Farsa up top though. No wave clear here coming down, but it's still going to be a lot of damage placed on the Dixon. Tormar memory going down. Dixon's falling down. No range. Watt unable to end the game right now. Case with a good Terrify. Now with the Flicker behind. Bice the Winter Truncheon able to activate it before he gets slain. Flicker's out to safety. Kimura with a knockout strike. CCing Leo Murphy's immortality falls. But the airstrike comes down. Leo Murphy with a conceal once again. Kabuki gets slain by Watt. Base wide open, Watt looking for the opening, Kimura jumping forward, now the hard guard for Sin, but the base will be targeted down, and Dewa United have produced a miracle!
What is this